All right, guys, this is Miss Langberth. I'm going to try to do this. If my cats are not making too much noise, I do apologize. This is so you guys can go through. We're going to do some examples of adding and subtracting fractions and mixed numbers with unlike denominators. That means that bottom number, that denominator, is not going to be the same. We can also make equivalent fractions to produce like denominators. So let's see what that looks like, guys. So let's say that I want to add 2/3 plus 3/4. Well, notice they do not have the same denominator, and we have to have the same denominator when we're adding. So what we're going to do is find the least common denominator. So when we go through least common denominator, guys, that means the smallest multiple that these two denominators have in common. So we're going to start. Let's count by threes. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and I'm going to stop right there. And now we're going to count by fours. 4, 8, 12. And I can stop right there, guys, because look, 12, they have 12 in common. All right? So now we can go back and we can look at these fractions. Well, I know I have to multiply 3 times 4 to get 12. Whatever you do to the denominator, you have to do to the numerator. So 2 times 4. Now, I know 4 times 3 will give me 12. And so if I multiply the denominator by 3, I have to multiply the numerator by 3. So 3 times 3. So let's see what that equals. So 2 times 4, 8. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 3 is 9. And 4 times 3 is 12. So you just add straight across now and we keep the denominator. So I'm going to go ahead and write a 12. So 8 plus 9 is 17. Well, I already know, guys, this is an improper fraction. We need to change it to a mixed number. So 17/12. I know that 12 over 12 equals 1 whole. So I'm going to subtract that from it. So let's take out that 1 whole. 12 over 12. That is my 1 whole. I'm going to make it look like a big 1. So that equals 5/12. So I took out 1 whole and I was left with 5/12. Those would be your two fractions. I have an improper fraction here, and then I have my mixed number here. All right, so let's look at one more problem as we go through. Let's look at a subtraction. Let's say that I have 3/4 and I want to subtract 1/2. Well, we could make equivalent fractions to do this because I know that their 1/2 is the same as 2/4, which is also the same as 3/6. All of those equal half of an object. So this is the same as 3/4 minus 2/4. I can substitute. I can put this 2/4 in for the 1/2. So 3/4 minus 1/2 is going to equal 1/4 of an item. We can go through, you can make those equivalent fractions. Let's do the same thing, looking for the least common denominator. So I'm going to do 3/4 minus 1/2 again. 3/4 minus 1/2. And we're going to look for that least common denominator. So least common denominator that your two denominators have in common. So I can count 4, 8, 12. I'm going to stop there. And then I'm going to do my 2's. 2, 4. I can stop right there, guys. So look, there's a 4. Here's a 4. I did not have to do anything to this one because it's already 4. So I'm going to keep 3/4. But I know that I had to multiply 2 times 2 to get 4. So if I multiply the denominator times 2, I have to multiply the numerator times 2. So that will become 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Again, 3 minus 2 is 1. Keep the denominator. So 1/4 if we subtract those out. All right, guys, so let's just a couple of reminders. Least common denominator. So the least common denominator. We're going to look at that bottom number on the fraction. The denominator. Denominator. All right, so least common denominator. You are going to find the multiple that they have in common. Find the multiple they have in common. So let's see what a couple of those look like. Just as a reminder, because you guys can watch this as many times as you need to. So let's say that my numbers are 4 and 7. Least common denominator. So if I go through and I work with these. So 4, 8, 12, 16. Oops. Let me get my eraser. Eraser. That's not my eraser. All right, let's try that again. All right, let's go back. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28. And then we can count by 7. 7, 14, 21, 28. All right? And if you look, 28 and 28 is what they have in common. So their least common denominator is 28. Right? You can do it for a lot of numbers. Sometimes it's the number multiplied together. Sometimes it's not. In this case, 7 times 4 would have been 28. But that's not always the case. Let's look at, I'm trying to think, 3 and 5, nope, 3 and 6. So in this case, count by 3s, 3, 6. I can stop right there because I see that number right there. So the LCD for these two is 6. All right? You have to find the least common denominator. Fractions have to have the same denominator in order to be added or subtracted. More to come. We'll do multiplication on the next video. All right, guys.